Hey guys, I'm IndoorSmokers. It's Miscellaneous Monday here on the Daily Vape. And with tomorrow being tax day, that means Monday's only the second suckiest day of this week. Alright guys, so I'm going to do a quick video today. I'm actually like neck deep in my own taxes and things. It looks like I'm probably going to be writing the largest check I've ever written in my life. And it's not for something fun like a car or a boat. It's to pay my goddamn taxes. But I guess that's a good sign things are going well. That's what they say anyways. So I figured with it being tax time, and people always asking me how I managed to make a living just doing goofy ass videos. See, this is the easy part. It's actually making money. It's actually making a living from doing this. It gets to be the tough part. But I do have other things going on besides the fact that I'm either owner or part owner of about a half dozen YouTube channels. Besides my several that I do, I also have a partnership with my brother. I got him started doing YouTube channels a while ago, so we have a few over there. But the main thing I started doing about 4 years ago, before I even got into the YouTube side of things, was doing web design. I started making websites, kind of got better and better doing that. And so it's not something that you're going to make a ton of money off one website, but if you can make $100, $200, $300 on a website, and you can have several dozen of them, you can do okay, you know, in the long run. So it's one of those things that builds. So a lot of these websites don't have anything to do with product reviews, e-cigs, anything that I do over here. My brother, for an example of one, my brother had been taking his kids to the public little swimming pools that would open up in the summer down in Texas, in San Antonio where he lived. I'm sorry, down in Austin where he lived. And he would always notice that there was no schedule for when the parks, those little pools would be open. And so he was always trying to figure that out himself, and so he decided to make a website and just putting the schedule down for where for each of the neighborhood parks and when the pool times were. So we ended up making like $10 or $15 a day off that little website, just telling people what the scheduled times were for something. You basically just find a niche, something that there's not information about, or something that people are looking for, and if you can fill that and get enough traffic, I mean, it's like television, radio, anything else. Basically, if you can get traffic, then advertisers are going to want to reach that traffic, and so they'll pay you. So I thought I would show you guys one of the websites I have. I have about maybe 3 dozen now, all just various crap or whatever. But here's one I built with my father about a year and a half ago called Woody's Classic Movie Reviews. You can basically look at any of the movies. There is text about the movies. There's little sidebars about maybe one of the actors, the director, some notable feature about the movie. We have pictures. There's a video clip you can watch. And then at the bottom of the page, you can actually watch the movie itself right off of Amazon Instant Video. Now, I did that yesterday right on the website, just kind of making sure everything was working over there okay before I was going to give you guys a link to it. And my father had recommended that I checked out A Face in the Crowd as a cautionary tale for my YouTube popularity. So this is actually a movie that stars Andy Griffith with really an incredible acting job by Andy Griffith. If anybody's familiar with the television show, this is a completely different Andy Griffith than the one from Mayberry. So it was a really good movie. There's several other movies. I thought I would talk about a couple of them. Then I will give you guys a link to the website if you want to go over there and check it out a little bit. The first page is basically just like poster board pics of each of the movies with the title. You click on that and that'll take you to the page with the review and the pictures and the link. So these are actually classic movies. I think all of them pre-1980s at least. But most of them are probably back to even the 40s and 50s. So I mentioned a little bit about A Face in the Crowd. I watched that last night. Really good movie. I'd highly recommend it for anybody who's looking at the possibilities of fame or fortune. Another classic starring Henry Fonda is 12 Angry Men. If anybody hasn't seen that, or if you've only seen the more recent versions of it, I would highly recommend it. This is the classic black and white version. Very intense movie. Another great one is To Kill a Mockingbird. That's one that a lot of people read in either junior high or high school. But the movie, this version starring Gregory Peck, is awesome. It's really well done. I think it won a bunch of Oscars, maybe even Movie of the Year that year. But it really deals with racial issues in the South, and really good moral kind of story with a little subplot with the whole Boo Radley. when somebody has a bad idea for a new product development, call it the Boo Radley, and then they say, why is that? And you're like, because that shit ain't ever going to see the light of day. Alright, and the last one I'm going to talk about for a minute is one of my all-time favorite movies, The Treasure of Sierra Madre. Bodges? We don't need no stinking bodges. We ain't got to show you no bodges. This one actually is another good cautionary tale. Not so much about the fame, but about getting rich and the gold fever. So this is an old school, kind of for people who've been watching Gold Rush, Jungle Gold, all that stuff would probably have an interest in this too, because it does revolve around gold mining down in the Sierra Madre Mountains. And it's an all-star cast starring Humphrey Bogart. I think it really is a tale that shows how somebody who has less moral, ethical character to begin with, how easily they are broken down, how the gold fever really affects them and makes them paranoid and crazy because they're not somebody who's trustworthy themselves. So when they're put in a position where you have to rely on trusting other people, and then you have all this money to really magnify the issues, I think you start to see people at their real core character at that time. So it really shows the decay of Humphrey Bogart from being a somewhat normal, just asshole, to becoming a completely crazy, paranoid, you know, kill everybody kind of freak guy. Like I said, I've got to get back and finish up these taxes and get that check written and down to H&R Block so I can get this stuff sent off. But you guys can go over to the website if you already finished your taxes, don't have anything else to do, and go look at some movies, check one out, maybe even watch one tonight if you see something that interests you. In case I didn't mention it, my dad did write all of the text for the website. I basically did all of the web design, put the pictures and the videos and everything in there. Alright guys, that is going to do it for this Miscellaneous Monday. In case anyone's curious, I am vaping on my K1000 Camry EPipe with the Nautilus Aspire tank. I'll put a link underneath this video where you can get this set up if you want to go check it out for yourself. They call it the Sherlock Holmes pipe, but this is more like the modern day version with Robert Downey Jr. Intelligent and yet a little bit edgy. But I'll put a link to Woody's Classic Movie Reviews underneath of this video. Go check it out. I think there's some really good movies over there.